Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wolf, and I'm casting a game between the Red Protoss DCISuperfan, and his opponent, Blue Zerg, Mr. Turtle. Mr. Turtle. And so I got this game, and it said, I heard you needed replays, so I had this pretty fun one. Well, I'll tell you guys the truth, it's horrible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Seriously, I've gotten some bad replays before, though. They're just very lull slice. Like back when I first started really getting into it, you guys sent me a replay of him cheesing with cannons. I'm like, this is the best. This is the best replay I've ever seen. Can you guys facepalm with me, please? There you go. I know you're doing it, because you guys are my friendly fun subs. Look at that. Probe as big as a car. You guys ever notice that? Probe as big as a car. Suddenly you guys are all like, just shoot the probe. It's a car, and it's moving faster than a Marine. It's pretty much like a car. With shields. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Oh, yes. I hope you guys like this. I put a lot of effort into this. I mean, of course, the last replay, I was about to put the wolf thing on. I'm like, you know what? I need a better one. I don't like the way it covered up the whole thing. And so I wanted to cover up just, this part here. So I did. I put a lot of work into that one. Like the wolf paw, if you choose it all with paint, because I use paint to make it. If you choose it all with paint and then you copy and paste it and you have it as transparent, usually it'd be like little white things. And then I put it on there and the black was hard to see, so then I took the time with a pencil at like 200 times magnification and outlined the paw print. So I hope you guys like that. Let me know what you think. I put a lot of effort into it, so if you got any minor suggestions, I'm not going to be, don't be like one of those dumb people on SCA that don't like my casts. I'm arguing something with them and they'll be like, dude, your casts are dumb. I'm like, that's not related to what we're talking about. I don't care if you don't like them. I don't like your voices. I don't like your voice, Icefang. You should just stop casting games. But you can keep casting. I don't like your voice, though. Like, well, that's very helpful. You're like, oh, man, this is wonderful, but you need to just get rid of it and do a new one. Okay. That's not happening. Oh, I got an idea. Production. So, got warmed up on the Kangaskhan upgrade. I just realized I got 90 subscribers today. That's impressive. And so I'm thinking about doing a 100-person video. I'm not sure. 100's not the biggest, and I don't know if I can really make an awesome happy-go-lucky happy video for everyone. Yay, video, but I'll see what I can do. Well, it may happen, it may not. If it doesn't, you can expect one at 1,000 for sure. Although by 1,000, these videos will be old, and I'll probably have it on like super settings. And I like looking at the replay bar. I'm about to talk about it, and then I'm like, oh, it's not even gonna be there. Hey guys, what do you think about the Icefang face? Isn't that cool? Did I do a good job with that? I want you guys to tell me like right now. That's a good job, Icefang. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I like your replay bar cover. I'm like, oh, that's very nice. I'll just talk to my voices and make like a conversation here. Oh, that's a really nice replay bar there. That's a nice replay bar. Thanks, Stewie. That's nice of you to say that. Oh, you're welcome, Icefang. That's really nice. Your replay bar is very nice. Oh, thank you, Gothmog. I'm sure you have to destroy Minas Tirith now. Then it focuses on the Mink statue. Yeah. What other voice do I have? I got Sean Connery. My diaries, brother. That's a nice replay bar. Red October standing by. His voice isn't very good today. My voice is just not best today. We do have a Stargate. You guys can see that though up here. Power up production tab. Upgrade. We do see some creep tumors being made. Yeah, then a Stargate. Woo! Stargate. I forgot to talk about like the important game aspects. I was having fun just talking with myself. I like to play with myself. Lol. I'm like breathing in saliva and killing myself. This is definitely a very favored Zerg spawn. It's not like it's that guy, Ricola, complaining on SCA. Seriously, that guy's a dumb shit. He's always complains like, dude, this is dumb. Cheese is dumb. You know what? This map is too overpowered for Zerg. Blah, blah, blah. I don't even care. But realistically, most Zergs like to macro, and this spawn position favors macro. And if you got a Zerg here, I'm not moving the Protoss, guys, so don't like, dude, where you putting the Protoss player, I think? Where you gonna put that Protoss player? How's that cast you working on, I think? Yeah. Sorry. Protoss, if the Zerg base was here, you can see how they fight each other directly, and that doesn't favor Zerg expanding very well. They both can take faster expansions, but it also is weaker to 4-gate. When you're right here, it's a little bit safer for macro, longer rush distance, but air is extremely viable against Zerg players, and so yeah, it's very viable against Zerg players because they don't have Marines, and so it actually makes it really effective to use air on positions like that. Sorry, my brain was stopping. Anywho, I have to say a quick thing. Kind of sad they're going to get rid of Flux Veins because, you know, honestly, hunting Overlords is much faster with, what is it called? A Void Ray. Void Rays are way better at hunting down those. These only do 10 damage. I mean, it's good damage, sure, but how many shots is that? It's going to be, assuming that each shot gets hit, of course. It's not like one shot's going to fly off. It's going to be 20 shots and then plus health regen, so it's going to be 21 shots. Yeah, that's a lot of shooting. As the game kind of goes on, though, Phoenixes become better than Void Rays because they can move faster to snipe the Overlords. And so, like right here, Overlord hanging around. I mean, of course the Phoenix can take it out, but a Void Ray will take it out faster. Void Rays combined with Phoenix and good micro are much more deadly. Just like a lot of Protoss things, you know? Unit composition is key. It's the key to victory. Me, me, me. Me too. You. Yes, you. Me. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Much better, everyone. Even though I feel like I gotta sneeze again, I will resist this time by picking my nose. I'm not really picking my nose. I did put my finger up there. Can you guys hear it? Finger. We got some harassment there. They're going for the Overseer Cocoon. Not a wise choice whatsoever. Cocoons have 2 armor, I believe. And since Phoenix attacked twice, that's a very bad target. Also against Queens. Multiple Phoenix are good against Queens, of course, because they can lift up, they're like, bitch, lift, and then kill. But a Void Ray of the Phoenix can do really well as well if you micro them. It was kind of a strategy I was talking with another person that never made a thread about it. And I don't like making threads because they just die. I don't make threads well. If you use the Phoenix in a Void Ray, though, you'd be able to come over here, pick up the Queen, and then you could kill the Void Ray. And of course with some micro you'd be able to take advantage of not dying. So you're gonna snipe out 2 Queens. Great hits there. Made the Zerg player transition into Hydralisk. It's exactly what you want to do. You're gonna do some attacking the mineral line too, which is great, you know. Great control here by the Protoss player. Definitely doesn't want to lose his. Good job. Nice job there, DCI. Yeah, so that's double hitting 2 Queens. Great hits. Definitely what you want to do. Making them make Spore Crawlers. Wonderful Evolution Chamber. Evolution Valvin Chamber before you wanted to come out. Hydrosten, you know, Roach upgrades aren't that effective right now, so you just made the Zerg completely play your game with 4 Phoenix. They really need a buff. There's actually 3 Phoenix, and I mean, I don't know about how I feel about that buff. I mean, of course, as a Protoss player, I like it overall. I'm like, yeah, buff, sweet, buffs are good, but I don't know if it's necessary, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's definitely necessary for Protoss players to use Phoenix as counter units to fight Mutalisks. We can actually make them fast enough now to actually stand a chance without having to start off making Stargates. But when it comes down to harassment, Phoenix are actually becoming very harass effective, so I guess overall, though, Phoenix are less effective than Mutalisks at what they do. They cost more, they move about as fast, they do kill workers faster, but you have to have a bigger group of them. So I'm going to call them groups, and they'll have the same counting as Mutalisks. 5 Phoenix is a group, so don't ever expect me to say more than 1 group of Phoenix. We do have Immortals coming out, and a Robotics Bay expansion by the Protoss player. Great move there. Expanding while harassing or attacking is exactly what you want to do as Protoss, although harassment is a little less common, because we don't really have I stand by what I say, that Protoss doesn't really have counter units, or harassment units. Every unit that you use for harassment is designed to also be a counter unit first and foremost. So, you know, this is the only unit in the Protoss army that has bonus versus light. And although they do harass really well, especially because workers are light, aren't they? I'm almost sure they are. Yes, all workers are light. Because they do harass well against workers because they do kill light things really well. It's just, you know, so do, what are they called? I almost said Colossus. Banelings do. They have bonus versus light. I mean, they're definitely not harassed, but you can see them used in a harassed role. And then what was the other one that's good? Hellions. Hellions can be useful against Lings. They're kind of in a suck place right now, though. I mean, a lot of factory units for Terran are kind of not in the same race, so... Gateway! Kind of going all over with the tech. That's okay, though. Making a Stargate transitioning into a robotics facility is exactly what I told people to do. And so, surprisingly, even though I didn't really expect this, especially when I was watching 8 times speed, I'm like, oh, well, whatever, I'll just do this cast because it's fun. Going Stargate and making some Phoenix, or like a Void Ray and some Phoenix, is really powerful, and then it forces them to go Hydralisk. Let's take a look at the Zerg player. Well, you can see how the harass hurt him a lot. I mean, he made a lot of Spore Crawlers, a lot more than he wanted to. And the Phoenix won't be able to do anything now. They're definitely pretty worthless in their current position. They will be able to force the Zerg player not to go Mutalisk, and they can scout if they, you know, what's the word? Abuse, that's the word I want. Abuse their shields. So Phoenix and really, really large groups can beat medium groups of Hydralisks, but it's not easy. I wouldn't suggest using that as a counter unit. So yeah, but making the Berserk player turn into Hydralisks and then taking advantage of that with the robotics fight Hydralisks so well. I mean, Immortals themselves aren't the best, but usually see Hydralisks with Roaches. And of course, Void Rays can also fight Roaches. But Colossus kill, I mean, that's what you need as a Protoss player. If you're fighting Marines or Hydralisks, you're probably going to need Colossus by the end of the day. So, and then of course, Observers are also really helpful for not just scouting, but killing creep. And I don't know about you guys, but slow Hydralisk is a dead Hydralisk, even though they're really pretty fast still. They're really, really fast on creep. Zerg units are fast. And Vrant, smiley face. I love how when there's like Phoenix harass going around, all the overlords clump up together like a bunch of hobos in the middle of winter. Like, except for this one, he's like the super hobo. You know, as the players kind of transition into more of a macro sense, I'm going to talk about something I heard on the radio the other day. It was called the 700 hobo names. My coworker really wanted to watch it or listen to it, so he did. He just sat there and played the guitar like gently, like and then just named off 700 hobo names. The song was by a hobo, and if you look it up, I don't think you'll find it, but just take my word for it. It was like on a volunteer station that his friends work on. He's blah blah, like shit blah. But anyway, other than the Spire's going down for Corruptors to get against the Colossus, which is very wise. When you're scouted as Protoss, I kind of would like to do a tech switch. Even at early stages of the game, I really dislike having my tech seen. So we got +1 and +1 here. Great, you know, double upgrades are I'm really killing myself today. Double upgrades are great, you know. Hitting both at the same time feels so good. Your army's just like da-na-na-na. You just found the slingshot in the Great Dooku Tree. That guy was a bitch when I was a kid. What are they talking about? Oh yeah, 700 hobo songs, guys. You look it up, maybe you'll find it. 50 freaking minutes of my life wasted because that guy wanted to listen to the freaking song. He's like, number 66, Bumblebee Tuna. Number 67, Salami, Sunshine Salami. Number 68, Ice Fang. You know, he just named off 700 hobo names, and it took 50 minutes of my life to listen to that song. That's my little rant. Pretty scary here. Got a, do believe they have, yeah, they do have roach speed. As you can see by the backs, the spikes on their backs, for some reason, makes them faster. Not that many Hydralisks, actually. To tell you the truth, the Void Ray in this army could be really effective. A little weak on the Stalkers. And what he's going to be fighting against, some Corruptors, I'm sure. It won't be as effective, of course, but definitely not enough Stalkers in this army. I mean, usually, you guys know when I talk about how good unit composition is, and then usually I'm like, too many Stalkers. But Ice Fang, he doesn't have any Stalkers. Too many Stalkers in there. Yeah, this definitely is not Stalker enough. So, I guess the Phoenix Colossus is pretty hard for Zerg to stop. Of course, he let him get Phoenix Colossus. So, as a Protoss player, what are you scared of? Well, good scouting. I mean, if you scouted me and you saw that I was switching to Colossus and you got Mutalisk Scout, then I would have to switch back to Phoenix, and then of course you could just do Hydra Phoenix. And there we go. Some Corruptors coming out. They're going to just decimate this. I love how the army's waiting, burrowed, waiting for the chance the Corruptors come. This is one of those examples of it's nice to have an observer around. It's kind of funny to think about it, but Zerg is like the race where you want the most observers. And then this cuts the army in half, did nothing with the force fields. That was horrible force field usage, right? I mean, there's like one roach not shooting. And all of his, what are they called? I don't want to call them Zerglings. Zealots. All of his Zealots are getting stuck behind the force fields. A Guardian Shield would have been so much more different. So that's a little knowledge for you guys. These Colossus are screwed, though. There's just not enough AA defense here. And of course, this poor Phoenix is just hanging around. It's like, dude, stop killing that guy. Dude, I need you to stop. They have 2 armor? Jesus. They don't die. And that would be a cleanup by the Zerg player, for sure. Ground army decimated, but it was able to take out 4 Colossus. Not a small feat at all. And of course, whenever anybody complains about Colossus and Phoenix, I'm like, did you get Corruptors? They're like, what's a Corruptor? Those are like mini Broodlords, right? Fortunately, perhaps a little too heavy on the Corruptors. I have to say, I don't actually believe that he's too heavy on the Corruptors here. He did a good job getting a good amount, but he definitely needs to spawn some Zerglings. That's all he needs. And he gets roaches. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. But this is definitely cleaned up by the Zerg player. Let's look at the Protoss base, though. Protoss base expanded while attacking. A bit of a macro fail. That's okay, though. Did a lot of damage with the attack. If we look at the units lost tab, we can see blue is behind by only about 400. Exactly 400. Blue's behind by exactly 400. And he does have another army on the way. So this could be very GG for the Protoss player. Biggest thing he needs, Immortals. And I missed it, but I mean I saw it, but I forgot to say it. He actually used the Corruption ability. Let me tell you guys something. If you got Corruptors, use the damn Corruption ability. You're like, dude, Protoss doesn't have... Zerg, shut up, I know what I'm doing, okay? I've been doing this a lot longer than you. Zerg has no spells. I have no spells. This is so good. 20 more damage. Take your army, cut 1/5 of it off. That's what 20 more damage means. Yeah, not exactly, really, but who cares? I can say whatever the hell I want to say. Goodbye, Mr. Colossus. Going into Mass Zealot. Interesting. Doesn't have charge yet, I don't believe. Sorry, taking a look. He is getting charged, though. Almost done. When it is done, he'll be able to... I want to use like a big word here, but I'm not going to. He'll be able to get rid of the advantage of roach speed. So, charge. Almost done. Watch. I'll say it right when it's done. 1, 2, 3, charge. Okay, not burrow. I said charge. And look, they're all pooping on him. Great play there. Great play. You definitely want to hit the Corruption on them. Now with Corruption, you're able to fight with the roaches, but this just isn't enough roaches. I do find it interesting, though, the Protoss player doesn't have an observer yet. Taking a look at the base... Yeah, he's getting Immortals. I mean, you want Immortals, but you can't do anything when they're burrowed like this. So, and I mean, they're just sitting right there. Like, now what's going on? Take a look back at the base. Don't see Tunneling Claw. It's kind of interesting to get burrowed, but not Tunneling Claws. I like how the Protoss, or the Zerg player has been using his Burrow, though. Burrow is a really effective ability. Personally, I like it when Corruptors burrow. Now, I want to say a couple things here. I believe these players are Platinum. That's my guess. Because they have really strong basics and fundamentals down, but they're missing large parts of their games. Like, they're good where they're good, but they're bad where they're bad. If that makes any sense. They both didn't harass each other. I mean, the Protoss did a little bit. His harassment was good. Did what it wanted to. The Zerg player needs to harass a little more, or expand a little more, or scout a little more, you know? You see with the scout, or you see with harassment, you're like, oh, he's turtling up and making lots of Colossus. Well, I'll just expand again. You're like, yeah, deal with it. I like how the burrow, I mean, he's able to just take advantage of this. He doesn't have to fall back. He doesn't lose units. He can just sit there. Of course, the Protoss player should be getting, oh, there we go, charge. Dun, 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 dun. Now there's Immortals. I mean, there's a reason Immortals cost 4 food, guys. These Immortals are going to clean house. And when the Zealots in front taking the damage, they're like, fuck off, bitch. Charge. We are the light of the Kala. Charge, damn it. They want to charge. Turn them around. There's a 2 HP Zealot with 1 kills. 1 kills, guys. Charging back into the fray. And see, this is a really this is a really big fail by the Zerg player. 1,000, 1,500. It is currently about 21 minutes in the game. I didn't look at the replay bar, I promise. Liar. Where's your Broodlords? Protoss players having difficulty dealing with the Corruptors as it is. He just avoided them pretty much. Where's your Broodlords? You could get them. You got a Spire. You got a shit ton of Corruptors floating around. You got a lair. Do it. Do it. Your haters made you powerful. No, 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 you will die. I didn't work on that. I actually didn't. I've never done that voice before, so I thought it was okay for my first go around. We are the light. We are the light of the color. We are the light of the color. And I'm a little on the fence about this. I mean, when they're burrowed and they're moving and they got regeneration, roaches are hard to kill with storms. But with observers out, it kind of makes a difference there, because you can see when they're moving around. And just like storm doesn't actually. I'm ready for the flame, guy. I got my flame shield up. Storm doesn't really do that much damage to the units. I mean, unless they just let the storm hit them. And what it really does is it lets your other units take advantage of that and destroy them. So I feel the spellcasters for the Protoss race kind of, they're like a safety net. I mean, other than feedback, each of the spells, other than feedback for the spellcasters, Protoss spellcasters, helps us micro easier. Storm, their armies running around in circles. Force field, yeah, they can't do anything. I don't have to micro. Hallucination, I got a whole row of zealots, bitch. Things like that, you know. And Guardian Shield, you know. Oh, I'll just take more damage. I can take it. Things like that, you know. Just not the best unit placement by the Protoss player. I don't like his pylon placement either. There's no reason to semi-wall yourself in. The Zealots are doing a great job taking the damage. You need to see some beautiful storms. They have enough energy yet. They do. There's a storm going down. And the Zerg player just kind of hanging in there. Not a very wise idea. Burrow will allow the roaches to live faster than they're dying. When you get Tunneling Claws, it also gives you faster regeneration. So they will be able to survive it. They'll be able to get away. But I mean, along with the fact that Protoss units have shields, they can storm it and then hit the units that are seen by the observers. So, unfortunately, the storms are gone, all but one. Needs to definitely storm. Beautiful storm there. I like his use of... Look at the hotkeys usage. Like, seriously. I put a lot of effort into my hotkeys. Look at this guy heal. Beautiful. And you can see how effective once Protoss players get to all stages of the tech tree. If you don't have tier 3 Mr. Zerg player, you're not really alive, Mr. Zerg player. Surely you can't be serious. I am. Don't call me Shirley. On higher graphic settings, this is covered in goop. Thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a heads up there. So I'm going to talk about Fallout New Vegas now, because I love that game. I love how it talks about Fallout 1 and 2, which are one of my favorite RPGs. And then, of course, Fallout's giving me like the hardest choice of my freaking life. Should I get Knights of the Old Republic MMO, or should I get Fallout MMO? Like, that's driving me bonkers. My two favorite games are making a massive multiplayer online. I'm not going to get both. I don't know what I'd do with myself. I just sit there in bed orgasming. I'm like, poor control by the Zerg player here. You know, you don't... the Zerglings are running by from the mineral line. That's... I think this is enough probes to just win. Like, go, kill. Do it. No, 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 you will die. And of course they just keep mining. What good probe cars they are. And we got some... The whole army is retreating to destroy a flock of Zerglings. I just made that up. It can be how many I want it to be. Oh, Zerglings, you guys are so cute. Look at that beautiful picture. The picture on in-game is cooler than that. I mean, that looks like kind of humanoid, not doggy-like. The last Zergling to live will be the one that was the number 2. Isn't that cool? And goodbye, base. Time to be canceled to the extreme. Cancel. Wow, they built... You guys can see how much of a buff that was. 250 HP and shields. That was great. I mean, they were able to just... It was healing so fast it took a whole volley from the roaches. And it's like, whatever, guys. You just get out of here. You go burrow. Let's see here. What I'm talking about here. Should have a hive. Should have a greater spire. Should have broodlords. If this was 7 broodlords, what are you going to do about it? I don't know. Of course, he's just massing roaches. And so what do you want to get? Well, Colossus and High Templar are good. They're always good. Immortals are what you want, though. Void Rays would be good choices, too. The only thing that the Zerg player is in real danger of is Void Rays. And I don't think a lot of real players mass Void Rays. Sorry to tell you guys, but... I love how they just try to keep burrowing. They're like, no, you need to strong. Snipe. Snipe. God, Roaches are cool. Roaches are like one of my favorite Zerg units. I like a lot of Zerg units. I just don't like Proton or Terran units. And the Zealots are going in. I mean, like, how awesome do you have to be to run into a storm that's ripping across the air to kill something you can't see? Now that is badassery, guys. And I've used that word before. You can use that word too. Just tell everybody about it, guys. Sitting there writing something in class, like, what are you talking about? Badassery, dude. It's badassery. 7 Broodlords. The difference that would make is insane. It is insane. The Zealots would be useless. I mean, without Void Rays to deal with the Broodlord and what are they called? Roaches. I was just talking how cool they were. Without Void Rays to deal with both of them, you're really in a bad spot. I mean, the Broodlings will make your army slower. I mean, even if you land a storm, the Roaches can just burrow. And so it's kind of like, it's similar to fighting this times itself. But then again, that one is spawning, the Zerg one's spawning free Zealots, so... We can see the Roaches, hardy little guys they are, they just aren't good enough to keep surviving against three Immortals, and then we do have 3 Archons being morphed. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how Archons are really good against Zerg. Everything they have is biological, of course, but they're still not very cost effective. So, a large amount of macro fail at this point in the game by both players, that's okay. Only one player really needs to not macro fail, and that would be Mr. Protoss, or Mr. Zerg. We do have a shit ton of Roaches coming in. We do have Corruption going down. Would have really helped to use that earlier. Oh man, it's starting to lag up, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Smoke Spiring the Immortal, the hated enemy of the Roach. Let's take a look at the Archons, how many kills these guys are gonna get. They have no shield upgrades, kind of interesting, but they do have attack upgrades. Attack is 47 versus biological. That would be 3 hits or so. 3 hits to kill a Roach, that's as good as an Immortal. And then I just thought about that for a second. I'm like, Immortals are way cheaper than Archons. I mean, Archons can shoot air. They don't have hardened shields. They have about as much HP. Man, I just feel like a douche now. Guys, Archons are cool. You're like, no, they're not. They get beaten by almost everything. MisterTurtle? Mr. Turtle, don't GG. Good supply there. Good, definitely macro fail by both players, but good job staying on top of DCISuperfan, his macro, not because his name just showed, I just like to call him the Protoss and the Terran player, and the Zerg player. Great job keeping his army reinforced. And the Zerg player, not the best, like at the mid game his creep spread was great, but when he got to the late game he needed to be covering the map, so. I may be bad against Zerg, but I really can't do ZVP for some reason. It's actually PvZ. Mr. Turtle. I was about to call him Mr. Zerg player, and then I saw him like Mr. Turtle. Oh, cool. I never thought about it. Can you guys see that done? I wonder if you can see that done. I hope you can, because I hope it comes out of the top like a thought bubble. Really, this shit is dumb. This is dumb. I'm going to turn it off now. And I'm going to turn it off too, guys. Thanks for watching my videos.